guys, I'm Amy and I'm your nonfiction feminist. Today I'm doing another book tag because book tags are fun and they're super simple to make, and it's been a really emotional week for me for no particular reason. So I need like a really fun and easy tag. Today's tag is the Cats and Books tag, and it is brought to us by Spinster's Library. She's amazing. She's working on her PhD, which is just awesome. So, let's get started with the cats. Come on, buddy. So this here is Dimitri. He is the oldest of our two kitties. Oh, just a little bit. Say meow. Say meow. And first question is, tell us about your cats. So name, age, hobbies, etc. This is Dmitri Shostakovich. He is named after the famous cellist from like the World War II era. My husband came up with all the cat names. And he is, I want to say he's going on like 8 years old right now. And he has 3 legs. He lost one whenever it got caught in a fence. And the shelter had found him, and they named him Cullen after the street that he was found on. Then he was adopted by a terrifying 9-year-old, which is why we don't love it when we have toddlers over at our house, because our cats are both very, very afraid of toddlers for clearly obvious reasons. So anyways, that family renamed him 3PO. And whenever he was back in the shelter, he was in what we called the disabled cats room, because you have Dimitri, who had 3 legs, and then you had, I cannot remember his name, but he was a black cat and he had a kink in his tail and it was super cute. We've always regretted not getting the roommate because they were already used to each other. It would have been fun. Anyways, the conditions of the adoption from that shelter were that we were not allowed to name him Stumpy, Gimpy, or Tripod. My husband complained a little bit about that, but I'm like, no, I'm not naming my cat Stumpy. It's not gonna happen. So, for some reason we went musical and came up with Dmitri Shostakovich. So some fun facts about Dmitri Shostakovich. He really likes to take his time when he plays. He likes to play with very slow toys, especially strings. He loves strings. He used to attack our chair pads like all the time because they were tied on with strings. So you just pull it super slowly and he just lets it build and build and build until finally he goes after it. Also, he loves to lick and nibble on fingers. It's like super cute. He could do this for an hour. It's amazing. He also has the rougher of the 2 cats' tongues, which is also interesting because I didn't think there was that much variation in sandpaper tongues. What else? Oh, he loves to be chased. He actually used to be the dog tester in the shelter that we got him from. So if they wanted to know if a dog was good with cats, they'd put him in there. And we've had a couple of roommates with dogs, and we've got Amadeus, whose tail you can see right here. He loves to be chased. He'll just hunker down and he'll stare at the other animal until they go after him. I don't know what it is. He also loves him some catnip. Like I said, he loves him some strings. Also, big news! He has lost weight recently. When we initially got him, he was like 11 or 12 pounds. And we, within a year or 2, maybe it was a year or 2, we moved, and he got really sick and ended up gaining weight. We were pretty much feeding him whenever he wanted food just to keep his stress levels down. So of course that had consequences. He's been 14 pounds for a while now. Finally got up to 14 and a half, and we'd been trying all sorts of diet foods. Finally find one that works, and I put him on the scale, and it's like, this scale has got to be broken. This can't be right. Because I knew that he'd been losing weight, but big surprise, we take him to the vet, and he lost a whole 2 pounds, and I am so proud of him. Of course, now he's not in the best of moods because he doesn't get as much food as he wants. But, oh well. Looks like he wants to leave us, which is fine, because it's Amadeus' turn. This is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He is about 2.5 years old. Say meow. And he has 4 legs. Fun fact, he's got 4 whole legs of his own, and the fluffiest tail that you ever did see. And what else do I have here? Oh, he doesn't care about catnip. I'm gonna scoot this. He legitimately does not notice catnip's existence. Like, Dimitri will go crazy and start eating the stuff straight, but Amadeus is just like, catnip? What's catnip? I don't care. Also, he's currently engaging in his favorite activity. We have a single fly caught between the window and the screen, and that's one of his favorite hobbies, is to eat sky raisins, as my husband calls them. So yeah, he's busy with his hobby and his little tail. He could be one of those cat clocks or something with the way his tail works. And he really likes to play with the little balls and the mice and stuff. He'll pick it up and carry it from room to room. He also likes to push his toys into spaces where he can't reach them for some odd reason. So it's like he has to work extra hard to get them out. Sorry I'm moving the camera so much. I'm trying to show him, but also, like, this lighting's a little tricky for filming. And I have a really messy background because of all the wires and stuff. I think that's about it for the basics. That's the first question. I have a lot of answers because I love my cats. I'm a cat mom. I did actually grow up with dogs. These are the first cats that I have ever owned. I love dogs just as much. It's just I happen to own cats because they're really easy to leave alone during the day. So question 2, recommend a book that features, includes, or mentions a cat. So I have 2 recommendations for this. One of these... No? You're not going to play anymore. Okay, whatever. One of my recommendations was one of my favorite series in high school, back when I actually read quite a few book series. A friend and I were really obsessed with The Warriors. If you've not heard of The Warriors, there's 4 cat clans, kind of, I think, in like a country area outside of a housing district for human people. And The Warriors is basically, it started off as a single series. It was like 6 books about these different cat clans and how they interacted with each other, and they had prophecies and stuff. And then there was a spin-off series about children of the main character cat, and then there was a spin-off series of that on their children. It was one of those, it's by Erin Hunter, and apparently she does this with her books, where she's got spin-off after spin-off after a spin-off book series. It got kind of exhausting. My friend from high school is still really obsessed with the series. Good for her, but I'm just like, no, I'm tired of this. There's like 50 books. I'm not going to read all of them anymore. The other book that I have to recommend, since I work at a mental health center for kids, I was on a trip with my mom in Spokane, Washington, and we went to Auntie's bookstore. The lower half is new books, and the second floor, not the lower half, the first floor is new books, the second floor is used books. And in the used books, I found All Cats Have Asperger's, written by Kathy Hoopman, I think was her name. She also did one on dogs. I think it was All Dogs Have ADHD or something. But would definitely recommend All Cats Have Asperger's. Whether you have a child or know a child who has Asperger's that you want to share the books with, or if you want your child to know more about it, or if you're curious about some really basic facts on autism and Asperger's, and check out All Cats Have Asperger's because it's really cute. I don't have it on me anymore. I did end up re-gifting it for a friend's baby shower, and the friend also happens to work for the mental health treatment center. So that's kind of awesome. Question number 3. It's taken me a long time to get through these. What's your favorite fictional cat? How many fictional cats can I even think of? There was the one on Hocus Pocus, and there was Crookshanks, who was Hermione's cat on Harry Potter. There was Minerva McGonagall, who is, of course, fantastic, and the actress is fantastic, and the cat was fantastic. And on my answers that I put down here, initially I wrote Minerva McGonagall, but right now I'm thinking Salem. Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. He was great. Not the new Sabrina. Honestly, I think the new show is terrible, bad acting, poor storyline, but that's just my opinion. That's my little hot take. Salem from the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV series. I don't know if I've seen the original movie or not, but yeah, I'd say he's my favorite cat. A fictional cat. Not my favorite real cat. At least they'll never know. Oh, also another fun fact. My husband bought this blanket at PetSmart, and I told him it's a blanket for the pets because he got it at PetSmart, and he's like, no, it's a human blanket. Well, Dimitri has proved him wrong, because there are many a time when he will not hop up on the furniture to cuddle with us because it doesn't have his blanket waiting for him. It's very cute. Now he's cuddling. Question number 4. If your cat was the main character in a book, what sort of book would it be? So, historical fiction for Dimitri, like something with kings and queens and stuff, because he would be a king. He'd be ruling over his land, looking down on everybody and asking for all the food in the world. He would be a king in a historical fiction book. And not like a fighting king, but like an older king who just kind of sits there and looks over everybody and doesn't actually have to move around or do anything. That's Dimitri. Amadeus, high adventure and fantasy. He is a very curious cat. We actually had a lot of trouble whenever we first got him and considered taking him back to the shelter to find a family that might be better suited because he was so high energy. But we've since moved to a bigger place, and taking him out for walks and everything has really helped. He's got more room to run around over here. So, and he's gotten older since we got him. And things have gotten a lot better, but he's still a very curious kitty. He still gets into a lot of trouble. Not as much trouble, but a lot of it's like knocking his head into things. Both of our cats tend to knock their heads into things. It's really funny. But definitely a high adventure fantasy. He'd be going off to kill the Sky Raisin army. And recommend a book that your cat would enjoy if they could read. So I'm going to pretty much focus on Amadeus here. Well, really for both of them, cookbooks. I'm sure Dimitri would love to make a good meal if he could. Something besides kibble. Dry diet kibble. For Amadeus specifically, I actually looked up a couple of books. I don't own any of these. I've never heard of any of these, but I knew what I was looking for, so I looked these up beforehand. There is the Eat a Bug cookbook, the Insect cookbook, and the Creepy Crawly Cuisine. But that sounds exactly like something Amadeus would be interested in. Not only does he love sky raisins, but I'm sure that he would love to feast on them in multiple different ways, with different seasonings and with different appetizers, and he'd have all sorts of fun with it. My cats love food. Love food. And yeah, another reason that Dimitri gets angry with me is that he's on timed feedings. He can't just eat whenever he wants. because for one thing, they'll scarf each other's food the second the other's not looking. But also, it's just better for their health, better for their weight. And which book or story would benefit from the inclusion of one or more cats? Well, arguably all of them. But specifically, I have Rose Madder, which, if you've seen my videos, was definitely my least favorite Stephen King. It could have benefited from a cat, like an animal to keep the main character company through all of this abuse that she's going through, like an animal to really just be there for her to get home to. Maybe not a dog, maybe that would be like way too much for her to handle coming out of an abusive relationship, have this animal that needs care like every couple of hours, but a cat that can kind of handle itself but is still kind of there. And then the idea that cats kind of keep the demons away, like I think the book could have benefited from that. And also I put any horror, because cats and demons and vampires, they all just sort of go together, don't they? And question number 7, have your cat pick your next read. They're both really lazy right now. I don't know who I want to disturb more. We'll see. I have like my next set of reads, but they can certainly determine my next read out of my next set of reads, since I'm working on my backlist book challenge. The 8th one is just tag some cat lovers. I don't actually know who of my subscribers or who of the people that I follow are cat lovers. But if you're a cat lover, please do this, because it's fun times. Now let's scoot on over to the TBR choosing. Okie doke. I'm about to cause some trouble up in here. My next 4 books for the backlist book challenge are My Antonia, which was a classic that does not appear on BookTube very often or at all. Gwen Hunter's Sleep Softly. This is my choice for a mass paperback. Out. I think this was my choice for a used book. And The Glass Room, which is the book on my TBR that I'm looking forward to the least. We've got our deli fresh turkey. Are you interested? Oh, someone's interested. Well, I guess you get the treat, buddy. Come down here. We have Gwen Hunter's mass paperback, Sleep Softly, which is like a murder mystery. Looks like that's our next read. Thank you very much, kitties, for participating. Take it. Take it! You know you want it. There you go. Looks like my Antonia would have been Amadeus's next choice. Dimitri doesn't get to choose because he decided to be lazy, which he often is. So, thank you very much for watching my kitties and I be ridiculous. And we'll see you all in my next video. Bye.